Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Alif Ridwan bin Muhammad Riziki, matric number 281497, and we are from Group 4. We would like to present to you about the financial scandal case of Transmile Group Berhad. Introduction. Transmile Group Berhad was involved in accounting scandal where the chairman and boss of the company at that time were called to overstate its revenue by 530 million ringgit by the auditors in 2007. According to the auditors, the scandal has taken place during financial years of 2005 and 2006, where Transmile has reported their pre-tax losses of 126 million ringgit and 77 million ringgit of for 2006 and 2007 respectively. However, the real figures for 2006 and 2007 were actually 207 million ringgit and 120 million ringgit. This scandal has caused Transmile to get a serious backlash from various parties, especially from their main customer, Postmaster Berhad, and the shareholders, since both of them has incurred a great loss from this scandal. Later on, the company was suspended on 2022 February 2011 and was finally delisted from the Bursa Malaysia on 24 May 2011 after its appeal was denied by the court. Background of Transmile Group Berhad. Transmile Group Berhad was a Malaysian scheduled all-cargo airline company, as well as one of the company operated under the Kwok Brothers Berhad Group, led by Robert Kwok, one of a rich man in Malaysia, and was designed by Ministry of Transport of Malaysia. Began its service in November 1993. Their main business operation was to provide air services such as delivering express mail and parcels between West and East Malaysia to their main customer, which is Post Malaysia Berhad, as well as offering a third-party services that cover aircraft maintenance, warehousing, and RAM handling services in their base in Subang Airport in Kuala Lumpur. Transmile Group Berhad also owning 9 Boeing 727 and 3 Boeing 737 model aircraft. After this scandal, Transmile Group Berhad will later on rebranded as Raya Airways in 2014 and owning several subsidiaries in Thailand and Indonesia.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. My name is Hafizatul Najih binti Manurman with matric number 281461. So I will continue this presentation with the chronology of Transmile fraud case. For your information, from 1998 through 2006, Transmile reported increasing revenues and profits due to their extensive network of operations. Unfortunately, in the year of 2007, Transmile Group Berhad has been charged involved in financial statement fraud scandal. This case started when the company failed to perform the submission of their audited annual accounts to Bursa Malaysia by the deadline for public release for the financial year ended 31 December 2006. In accordance with the exchange listing requirements, an announcement required to be made within and not exceeding 4 months of the end of the financial year or by 30 April 2007. This case getting more suspicious when their external auditors, Deloitte and Touch, refused to approve the company's annual report due to a lack of supporting documentation on 4 May 2007 through a letter to the company's BOD. Following Deloitte and Touch reported issues, the BOD appointed Morse Rowland Risk Management to conduct a special audit on 7 May 2007. As a result of the investigations, the company's unaudited annual accounts for 2006 as well as its audited annual accounts for 2004 and 2005 were found to contain material errors which is overstated their revenue and profit with a total of 622 million ringgit. This means the company was started this unethical activity 2 years earlier before it discovered. Transmile had reverted to a loss instead of a profit for the affected years due to overstating figures. In this case, the company's financial statement actually shows a loss rather than a profit. RM 189 millions of payments were made by the company without supporting payment vouchers. Hence, the police report has been filed by the newly appointed director regarding the false statement on revenue, property, equipment, and payments to the third parties that told by Deloitte and Touch. As the consequences, the Securities Commission (SC) charged Gan Ban Aun, the CEO, and former executives Hudin Muhammad and Law Chok Ping for providing false statements and figures within the company's annual accounts for the fourth quarter of 2006. For the charges that have been assessed to him, Law Chok Ping has paid 700,000 as the compound. In addition, the SC also made 500,000 ringgit compounds available to Chin Kim Fyong and Shukri Sheikh Abdul Tawab, two non-executive directors of Transmile, who were charged for making misleading statements to Bursa Malaysia in its quarterly report. Bursa Malaysia also penalized 4 Transmile directors for failing to disclose the financial information in a timely and accurate manner in compliance with the listing requirements. So, Gan and Hudin were punished RM 781,500, while Chin and Shukri were fined 162,600 each. As a result of this fraud case, Transmile Typical had sent resonating shockwaves through the investment community life. Their share dropped to roughly 8 ringgit from around 14 ringgit in early May 2007. By July 2007, the company announced winding up its subsidiaries because its group liabilities were too large. The company's share price plummeted, resulting in the loss of investors' money. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Imran and I'll be explaining about the effect of fraud on the financial statement, shareholders, and the external auditors. Okay, so the first one is the impact of fraud on the financial statement. In the Transmile case, the revenue is overstated, which it is overstated for an amount of more than 600 million ringgit from the year since 2007. So this kind of misstatement is very material to the financial statement user because the amount might itself change the decision making of financial statement user. Let's say when the investor see there is not enough investment growth, they might not want to invest in the company. So the next one is impact of fraud on the shareholder, which is mainly the share price. The share price plummeted from more than 14 ringgit to 50 cent, which is more than 90% price decrease within 3 years. There's a huge loss in capital. So what we can say, all the capital invested by the investors, they almost lost it entirely. Furthermore, they got no dividend as the company increased their expense on legal expenses and many more things. So the last one is the impact of fraud on the external auditor, which is Deloitte and Touch. It surely tarnished their name because they failed to detect the financial irregularities on the company financial statement. Other than that, as they have a long good relationship, it makes give a rise of question on the auditors' independence and work quality as they are already comfortable with the company. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
The involvement of auditors in a company's fraud case is important in order to recognize, assess, and respond to fraud risks appropriately. For Transmile Group Berhad case, the external and internal auditors have their own responsibility to respond in this case. Alright, in every relation between client and auditor, engagement letter needs to be established to clarify duty of care, relationship, roles, timing, and other terms in their relationship. But refer to the Transmile's 2005 annual report, the main role of their external auditor that mentioned in their engagement letter was to evaluate the overall financial statements presentation and ensure that their financial statement prepared in accordance with statutory requirements. In the years of Transmile scandal crisis, there is two external auditors, which is Deloitte and Touch, and Morse Roland Risk Management. Transmile and Deloitte had a long-tenure relationship as a client and auditor more than 10 years. Morse Roland Risk Management appointed in these issues regarding to generate the special purpose audit. When a special audit report was reported by the Morse Roland Risk Management and confirmed that the revenues and profit had been materially overstated in the Transmile 2004 and 2005 unaudited annual accounts and unaudited 2006 annual accounts, Deloitte and Touch was the independent external auditor for that moment. This situation met public concerns regarding Deloitte and Touch competency and duty of care in providing audit service. Public argue that their relationship is exposed to familiarity threat, and in this Transmile scandal case, caused their external auditor reputation and credibility negatively affected publicly. Deloitte and Touch reacted to this issue and mentioned that audit was governed by the concept of materiality and the audit process will check based on samples randomly picked. Generally a bias towards large items which are material because there are so many transactions. It is almost impossible for auditors to check on every single transaction. They also turned the table and highlighted that primary responsibility in ensuring and maintaining appropriate internal control system and accurate bookkeeping records lies with management of the company. Last but not least, external auditor for Transmile mentioned that they don't do a bad job since they able to discover the irregularities financial transaction that happening in this scandal case.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Nurul Aini Sofia binti Muhammad Yusof, matric number 281475. So, we move to the involvement of internal auditor in Transmile fraud case. But first, I want to clear about the internal control system. In this system, there are three people that are involved: BOD, audit committee, and internal auditor. So, what I want to talk is about the internal auditor. And based on my finding, there is not many involvement of internal auditor as much as external auditor, but still there are involvement from them. Okay. So the first point that I want to highlight is the restriction in internal audit scope by BOD. So BOD has restrict the internal audit scope, which is the sale sector and marketing sector. And because of this decision, financial statement has been not covered by internal auditor. And the second point is internal auditor has better understanding of fund management because internal auditor work for the company, work in the company, so they know what actually happened in the management. So BOD should strengthen the internal auditor's ability in the internal control system. And the third point I want to highlight is about internal auditor actually can act as an assurance for the management because internal auditor work for the Transmile. So of course they are care about the company more than the external auditor do, such as the firm reputation or how the Transmile treat its worker. So it actually really benefit the Transmile. And internal auditor also can act as a consultant for the internal control system. So that's all about the involvement of internal auditor. But here is the additional information of how of why internal auditor is not involved as much as external auditor is. First is because internal auditor are not utilized to their full potential by the board and the audit committee. And the second is BOD has transferred the responsibility for internal audit to more. So that's all from me. Thank you.
The conclusion can we make from this scandal is that the scandal of Transmile Group Berhad was caused by various factors as well as affect the various parties, including the organization itself, auditors, customers, and shareholders. And we also learn how important are the roles played by the auditors in order to detect the errors in the financial statement and the relevant action that has taken by them in order to expose the fraud made by the company. What we learn from this study is that we learn how the auditors need to practice the good qualities, characteristic, ethics, and principles in their duties in order to become a professional auditors. And we also learn that the auditors also need to be knowledgeable and competent in order to prevent the fraud and corruption practice in the company and lead a better performance of the company in the future. That's all from me. Thank you.
So, that's all from us. Thank you.